Hello and welcome to the weekly market update, where we review the action of the week and see what's setting up going into next week. If that's what you're into, stick around. All right, it's the end of the week, and we had some crazy moves this week. Even though the market was marginally down, like we thought was going to happen, oh man, under the surface there was just some really explosive moves, and yeah, luckily in the portfolio we had a lot of these stocks that made pretty substantial moves and got the portfolio back to basically even on the year, and yeah, we're pretty excited about that. It doesn't this software doesn't show options, so it's a little off, but yeah, we're back to the black on the year and we're pretty excited about that. um, so yeah, we're gonna just dig into some of these massive moves that happened this week. uh, yeah, as you can see here, some of these gold mining, silver mining stocks did really well. A lot of stocks with earnings, uranium stocks did well. I was holding this Inno data, didn't do so well. That was like the only one though. But you know, it kind of bounced back, and I had sold some calls on it, so the damage isn't that bad. But yeah, so let's dig in some of the charts and yeah, go over this week's action. Oh yeah, and also like, oh man, the moves in crypto stocks is pretty intense. For those of you who don't know, I've been an investor for over 10 years and a full-time swing trader for the last 5. In August of 2024, I welcomed my first child into the world. To build his financial foundation, I funded a $100,000 account for him, which I'm growing using a personalized 60/40 portfolio approach. This channel will document that journey. My goal is to create educational content so that one day my son can learn how I grew his account and apply it himself one day. To follow the portfolio's every move, check the link in the description below. I attach it to a website that tracks every trade. Drop your questions or thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys along the way. Cheers. CDE, this silver mining and gold mining stock. Oh man, this thing. What was interesting about this was this was kind of left for dead. I mean, if you were comparing this and you were in this stock compared to, like, let's say KGC, I mean, this stock had just been kind of left for dead, whereas KGC was, what is it, up 37%. This one just got this high volume here and was kind of doing nothing. And of course, you know, they came out with earnings and they really beat it. And I think a lot of people are offsides on this name, so we got a pretty explosive move out of this one. CDE. Yeah, what else? I mean, oh, I got to talk about crypto. I mean, this BitDeer, I mean, even from the lows here, this thing is already up almost a double. Big moves in crypto. Oh, what else? We had Celsius, which this thing's kind of just stuck in this area. It kind of, like, I was thinking that this thing is a buyout because this whole, you know, stuff that happened in April, it just kind of didn't do anything. So I'm just like debating if this thing's a buyout at 40 bucks. That's a decent stock to check out. We had this apps, this thing. I mean, man, this week didn't even have earnings and it's up 45%. Massive moves. What else? Tesla. Oh, Tesla looks pretty good. I think it can go a little higher. But let's talk about the earnings. So I'm in this trucking stock. These guys do the self-driving trucks. It came out with some news, you know, that they're going to start doing it in Texas, I believe, and then they had the earnings and they kind of sold off. I had sold some calls on it. Oh man, the May expiration of calls. I mean, these guys are juicing that expiration for sure, because we're just having massive moves under the surface going into May expiration next week. Pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, we did well on these ones. We were selling the 8s or not the 8s, yeah, the 9s and the 10s. Got a nice little crush there. Another silver stock, this PAAS, Pan American, you know, same thing, doing pretty well. The one cool thing about PAAS and CDE is they didn't pull back, you know, yesterday. Because yesterday, like, I also have this one, like, a lot of these gold miners, like, got hit really hard, but now they bounced back today, but they didn't pull back yesterday, which was pretty interesting. Another stock that I'm in, actually a pretty good position size, you know, like 2% of the portfolio, is this Warner Brothers. It had earnings and it's going to spin off the HBO business. So I'm just thinking, this thing's at 20 bill. What is Netflix at? Netflix is at 500 bill. I mean, if these guys spin off HBO and HBO gets its stuff together, over the years, I think this thing could do pretty good. This uranium stock had earnings. Yeah, I did a video on this one. A good amount of people are watching that one too. Like we made the video down here. Yeah, it's up 50%. Um, and it's up a lot. Looks like it can go to top end of the range. Um, yeah, looking good there. This Tempest AI, this thing was looking pretty good. I had sold these $70 calls, so we're still good on that. Pull back today. It's like it's basically the same thing as LEU. It's just in the middle of a range right now. So that's good. And then last but not least, we had this STNE release some earnings, and it's flat, and we had sold some $15 calls, so we're sitting pretty on that. Lastly, I think I didn't talk about this Borg Warner. This is auto parts. This is kind of like one of my plays on humanoids and robots and stuff like that. Even though these guys aren't really doing that, they're more like EVs and that sort of thing. But I just think there's going to be a increased demand in robotics and parts in general. And this thing, it's up 30% for the month, so it's doing pretty good there. Yeah, I could have bought like JBL or what is that, Mog A? That's another one. But for whatever reason, like these ones are, I guess they're pretty much the same, but this one's doing pretty good. Okay, sweet. So that's kind of like the portfolio, like exciting stuff that happened this week update. Let's go to the S&P 500 and take a look at what's going on. So yeah, I mean, last update, I thought we were going to go down. I thought we were going to go down more, but Trump is just kind of pumping it with all these deals and stuff. I just think with these gap ups, yeah, if I can just scoot in a little bit, with all these gap ups and then dumps and gap ups, that's typically what you see like right before the decline. I mean, these guys try to gap it up, and there's a lot of FOMO in the market. As I was showing you guys, there's a lot of big moves happening under the surface, even though this thing is basically just flat. Stuck on in this area here, so we'll have to wait and see. My bias is still to the downside. I still think we need this, and I'll show you guys the market monitor in a sec. Like I mean, basically, these rallies on average last about 20 days, and we're on day 14. So hey, I mean it's time to just sell some calls and do nothing really. It's just, today's action, low volume, down day. IWV, which is what I track for all the stocks, is basically flat. So we're just kind of in no man's land where there's not really an edge to like buy anything. The buying opportunity was kind of like down here. And we were buying over here too at the start of the year, but the main buying opportunity was like down here, and now we just like kind of do nothing and wait for this rally to end and see if we can get a pullback and see where that pullback takes us. I think what I was saying last week was we were watching this 540 put level on the SPY, like right here. So we'll see what happens to that. All right, so let's dig into the market monitor and see what's going on there. Okay, so for those of you who are new, yeah, I mean, this is basically I do a few things. I do O'Neill analysis, Weinstein stage analysis, some Wyckoff analysis, some Tom DeMark indicators. But I do it in a different way where I just like track the stocks instead of like doing it on the charts like Tom DeMark does. Yeah, so I mark today as kind of a stall day, which is I mean, it's still kind of a distribution day. So we're at 3 distribution days, and so typically the 4th distribution day is really bad, where you get a really nasty day. Yeah, like the first distribution day, and the 4th one, and the 6th one are typically pretty bad. Um, so we're on the watch for that because we're, on deck. I mean, not much of a change. I mean, the one thing that's like looking pretty decent here for the bullish side is that there's stocks starting to come into stage one. You only see that at like market lows when there's a lot of stocks in stage one. So maybe we're setting up here for if we decline one more time and things don't get that bad, and we get more stocks in stage one, that could be pretty bullish. It's a really solid indicator of a longer term rally that's about to happen. So yeah, I mean, besides that, nothing really changed in the stages. Stage two, stage three, stage four, all good. What's notable here? I mean, we have some really low put call ratios, 0.65. The VIX is back to 21. So it all makes sense for a little pullback to start happening. There's money to be made on the short side for these guys. With the VIX back to here, and we're starting to see bearish combo. 400 stocks that are at the low of the day today. So that's something to keep in mind. And then 20% bearish. So yeah, I was saying that on Wednesday. Like we're starting to see a divergence, right? Like of winners and losers. It's not just all winners. It's not just a straight bull market. It's kind of they're picking and choosing. So that's interesting to see that we got 41 stocks that are down 20% or more on the week. Higher highs have kind of stopped. This is the lowest reading of higher highs. So it's like, they're getting tired. I mean, look at all these higher highs. This is crazy. And then, yeah, the Bollinger Band is pulling back with a sell signal with the first lower number. After making, consecutive, like a high here and then a higher high. And then, we're starting to go back down. So yeah, 5% is relaxing here, and then the we're going into kind of like a messy area of the short term and momentum up and short term momentum down, and then the TD sell is coming off the overbought kind of level at 1,000, which it's like this indicator like works really well on the downside, right? Like whenever you get 1,000 plus, it's like, I mean, because the market goes up over time. It's a little bit harder to use on the upside. Just because of how the market works, where it just goes up over time. So when you get an oversold reading, it's like it's easier for it to go higher, than overbought. It's just different. So you take that with a grain of salt. But we're back to 50% stocks in either stage one or stage two. So yeah, the opportunity has passed us to buy, and now we're just hanging out. We're back to, I mean, I guess you're like risk control at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I see. Maybe going into next week, let's take a look. What I'm looking forward to on next week, at least for the account. Let me see here. Like, let me see. So, PAGS is probably going to be a good one going into next week. This thing is setting up to move higher. FTAI is not really doing anything. This Tiger's just been kind of grinding higher. Some of these Chinese stocks. Let me see here. Yeah, I made something on Sam, but Sam's just like not really doing anything. It's just a consumer defensive. And beer, and I guess people aren't like drinking a lot of beer anymore, so this thing's kind of just doing. These guys are buying back a lot of stock, so whenever that changes, maybe during the summertime, this thing could pump in the summertime. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Oh, some of these oil stocks, I think that's like the play right now. I'm really looking, like if you're looking at oil, okay. Like I was buying some oil stocks into like I think this day here. Yeah, I bought this NBR oil driller. There's also some other ones like NE and like Seadrill and Rig. Some of these names have just been like destroyed. 10 to $2 kind of a thing. So I think if oil actually does make a higher low here, I mean, that could be our inflation boom. And we're also starting to see, maybe the interest rates are going to break out to the downside, or the bonds, right? go something like that. And if that happens, you know, you wanna have some oil exposure. Um, yeah, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. You know, this higher low on oil, because it's like basically buying the spire like right here. So that's kind of what I see going into next week. So I mean, what could be some good stocks like Fang? This is a good one. SM is a good one. Oh, FTI is always a good one. Uh, what else? Weatherford is a good one. Um, Tidewater. These things are just starting to grind higher. But I think, you know, if you like, for me, like I'm trying to, like I got the 60-40 portfolio going on, so I need some juice on the 60 half. So things with high IV that I could sell a call on, so that it still is not that volatile, but you're getting paid a lot for the calls. So that's why I go into something like this, because the IV is so super high, and you could basically get like 10% downside protection while selling like something up 10 to 20% on the month. So you have access to 20% gains, and you have 10% downside protection, and the ADR is only 7. So you're basically getting, you know, 1.5 ish ADR protection for 2 ADR gain. So you know, I like those odds. And yeah, so besides that, maybe going into next week. Oh, we got nah, this hasn't released yet, and this thing's right. Yeah, that's about it. All right, guys. Hey, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I think we're getting more people to view the videos, which is really really cool. I love it. Like, you guys are cool. If you guys want to comment, I know on some of my other review videos, you guys are commenting. That's like super cool. Yeah, feel free to comment and like and subscribe. And yeah, thanks, and have a great weekend. Cheers.